Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard of Ozempic or some sort of GLP-1.
Ozempic.
It's all over TikTok, on X, on YouTube, and heck, even Serena Williams did a Super Bowl commercial for it, taking Ozempic like she was drinking a Pepsi.
34 pounds down on GLP-1.
You see it everywhere, and it's being promoted as the miracle weight loss drug of the century. So it's time that we talk about the truth about Ozempic. And the truth is, if you're on Ozempic or a similar GLP-1, there is a 45% chance that you are losing muscle. And when you come off the drug, the muscle doesn't come back, but the fat does, unless you do the protocol I'm about to share with you. I had one client come to us after being on Ozempic for 8 months, and dude lost like 35 pounds. The doctor was happy, the wife was saying that he was looking great, and then he stopped doing it. And within a year, he gained back 30 of those pounds. And when we ran the DEXA scan, he was shocked. He lost a significant amount of lean mass while he was on that drug, and he never rebuilt it, and the weight that he gained was all fat. He was weaker, heavier, and metabolically worse than he was ever on during the drug. And we're seeing this over and over again. People go on the GLP-1, they lose the weight, they come up, and they're actually worse than when they started. And then you have Ozempic face, where people just look gaunt and ghoulish. And it's not because these drugs didn't work, it's because no one told them what to do when they were on it. So I built the high performance GLP-1 protocol. So if I had a family member that was gonna go on the GLP-1, this is exactly what I would get them to do. And step 5 is the step that no one talks about, and it's the difference between someone who keeps the weight off and someone who has to be on the GLP-1 for the rest of their lives. But more on that in a minute. Now, I know that some people are going to come in and say, GLP-1s are the best, and you're just like anti-GLP-1. No, I'm not anti-GLP-1, okay?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
These are actually really good for people who have serious metabolic challenges and serious weight issues. Like, these drugs can be a legit turning point for a lot of people. I've seen it with our own clients, entrepreneurs, business owners, guys and girls over 40 who use it to actually move the needle when it comes to their metabolic health. But I also see people reach for it as a shortcut when the basics haven't been given a fighting chance. So this video is not here to judge either group. It's to make sure that you come in with a plan and not just a prescription. And what I tell our clients before going on GLP-1s is to fix the fundamentals first. Either way, if you're getting on the drug or not getting on the drug, you're going to have to make a lifestyle change to make sure the results stick. And people come to us thinking they need a GLP-1 when they haven't really fixed the fundamentals and stuck with it for a full year. And when they finally do, like a lot of these clients over here, they end up realizing that they don't actually need the drug. Now, the benefits of going on the GLP-1 are real, and I'm not going to pretend that they're not. We've seen significant weight loss, cardiovascular improvements, reduction in visceral fat. We've even seen knees start to repair and heal. And the most important thing is the food noise goes quiet. And if you've ever dealt with constant cravings, you know how much that alone can be life-changing. But there is a cost that most people don't discover until it's too late. In the Step 1 trial, roughly 45% of the weight that was lost was not fat, it was muscle. A University of Utah study found that even if muscle stayed the same, strength dropped by 20%. And then there are the side effects. We're talking nausea, GI issues, appetite that's suppressed to the point of creating nutrient deficiencies. Actually, I had one client who was on GLP-1s who had to stop because he was way too nauseous to even work. And I've seen others who had to deal with gut issues that have lasted for months. And now we're starting to see lawsuits come out against the makers of these particular drugs. And then there is the part that no one wants to hear. In the Step 1 trials, after 1 year of stopping semaglutide, they found that the participants had regained 2/3 of the weight that they lost. A recent meta-analysis showed that there was an average regain of 22 pounds, and within 18 months, they would be back to baseline. And this is just common sense. If your appetite comes back, if you have lost muscle, then your metabolism is going to be compromised. So for many people, GLP-1s are a lifetime subscription. Now, these are not reasons to not go on the drug, but they are reasons to go in with your eyes wide open. So if you're even thinking about starting, you have to know that you're either committing to this for the rest of your life, or you are committed to building a lifestyle so you can get off of it. And that's exactly what this protocol is designed to do. Now, before I walk you through the protocol, if you're watching this and you want to lose the weight, you want to keep the muscle, and you want to get your body metabolically healthy with or even without the drug, I put together a free guide that lays out the exact system that we use with our clients, and also the same one that I use to get my abs back at 46 to help you get lean, energetic, and also get you metabolically healthy with or without the use of drugs. So if you want that, drop a comment below saying the word healthy and I'll send it to you. Okay, here's the protocol. Now, the purpose of this protocol is to make sure that number one, you are going to keep the muscle when you're on the drug. The other one is going to make sure that you actually have a roadmap to use for the lifestyle that you're going to continue on with to get off of the drug and actually keep the results that you got. And step one is to strength train using something that we call the 2S method. And this is a non-negotiable because when you're cutting weight, one of the energy sources that your body wants to use is either going to be muscle or fat. And resistance training is going to prevent your body from using muscle. And when it comes to the workout, we actually find that when you are cutting down and cutting weight, it's better to use a low volume, higher intensity type of program instead of what most people do, which is extreme high volume. And remember that 45% stat that I talked about previously? This is exactly how you fight it. And the 2-set method is pretty simple. You do 2 sets per exercise. It's going to be 3 minutes of rest between exercises. You're aiming for repetitions between 6 to 10 per exercise. And it's going to be 3 full body workouts every single week. And we're making sure that we're hitting each major muscle group at least twice per week. You're doing enough volume to make sure that you keep and maybe build a little bit of muscle. You're not trying to wipe your face off the floor by the time you're done the workout. We actually had one client who was running a tech company. He was traveling a few times a month and he was convinced that he couldn't fit training in. And we got him on the 2-set method and he hasn't missed a week in 8 months while he's hitting PRs every single week in his exercises. And here's the thing, 30 minutes, 3 times a week is a bar that most people can clear. And it just doesn't give you the minimum effective dose, it's maximum muscle protection. Now, step 2 is to set a floor and a ceiling for your protein. We make sure our clients have anywhere between 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And the ceiling is what you're going to target on your normal days, and the floor is your minimum on the days when the drug is crashing your appetite. And we've done hundreds of DEXA scans with our clients. We actually find that a higher protein intake, especially when doing a cut, it gives you a chance at not only keeping the muscle, but also making sure that you can build a little bit in a deficit. Now, this is where protein shakes can actually save you because it's much easier sometimes to down a small protein shake than it is to eat a 300-gram strip loin. And also make sure that you're having protein first at every single meal. And that's the rule. Your muscles don't care whether or not you're hungry. They only care about getting the right fuel. Now, steps 3 and 4 are going to be upgrading your food quality and scheduling your meals. So being on the GLP-1 is not an excuse to just eat like shit, because when you are eating less, every single meal matters. And this is the time when you want to load up on whole, single ingredient, nutrient-dense foods with healthy fats. And here's something that surprises a lot of our clients is that when they go from, say, eating a processed food diet to something that is more whole food based, their taste buds start to change. And they actually start liking the taste of whole foods. Now, with the meal schedule, we want to follow something that is called the chrono eating protocol. And this is a simple meal schedule that aligns with your body's rhythms, and it actually starts at the end of the day. So we make sure that we have our final meal at least 3 to 5 hours before going to sleep. And if you are on a GLP-1, then you can extend that to about 5 hours. We have our first meal 1 to 2 hours upon waking because this is going to be a net positive for building muscle and also later on for regulating your appetite when you're off the drug. And then we put a middle meal right in between. And this is key because once you're off the drug, you want your hunger to be on autopilot. And because you have been following a meal schedule, your hunger will have been trained to be eating at these times. And that's going to give you a massive head start. I had one client who was a CEO who had a crazy schedule. And he told us that using the chrono eating framework was one of the easiest things that he had to do to lose the weight because it solves one of the most important things that you want to do on a deficit, which is control hunger. And most people don't understand that you're not just what you eat, you're also when you eat. And aligning your meals with how your body naturally likes to eat is one of the best ways to put your hunger on autopilot. Now, step 5 is to stop using your scale weight as the number one metric because the scale doesn't tell you what you have lost. You could lose weight and end up at the same body fat level because a lot of that weight can be offset by how much lean mass that you've lost. And that's not a transformation, that's a downgrade because no one realizes how hard it is to build muscle. And this is exactly what happened to that client that I told you about at the beginning of this video. He was thrilled about the number on the scale, but underneath the surface, his body fat was offset by the amount of muscle he lost. He thought he was winning, but he actually wrecked his metabolism. So you need to track your muscle mass and you also want to track your visceral fat. One of the best ways to do this is through a DEXA scan. One of the next best ways to do this is through your waist to height ratio and also making sure you're hitting your protein targets and making sure that you are progressing inside of your workouts. And also you want to get your blood work done to make sure that you are tracking your metabolic markers. And remember, the goal isn't weight loss, it's fat loss and being metabolically healthier than when you started. So step 6 is going to be supplementing for nutrient deficiencies. So when you are eating less food, it's obvious that you're going to be taking in less nutrients. And most people don't understand that nutrient deficiencies will quietly sabotage your energy, your recovery, and also your mental health. And remember, calories determine how much you weigh. Macronutrients determine your body composition, and micronutrients determine your energy and your mental health. Now, usually we would get clients to do blood work to see what nutrients they're actually deficient in, but here is a general list that we find of supplements that are helpful and also ones that we find that people are usually nutrient deficient in. Omega-3s, vitamin D3 and K2, magnesium glycinate, creatine, and using a quality multivitamin just for nutrient insurance. And these will cover the gaps that reduced food intake creates. And step 7, if I'm being completely honest with you, this is the real protocol. Everything else protects your body, but this actually protects your results long term. You have to be the person who is comfortable at the new weight. Your identity must change. We had a client who was a very successful guy. He was running multiple businesses and he had dropped 40 pounds off his body. But when we dug into the fact that he was going into bad habits, going off of the drug, we actually found something that a lot of people go through. He still thought of himself as the fat guy. That was his role in the friend group. That's how his family saw him. Every dinner he was out or every business event that he attended, he would always default to his old identity. And we had to work on it. We had to help him build a new archetype, and it's what we call the identity operating system. You have to have new beliefs, new standards for how you eat, new standards for how you move your body. You even have to change how you talk about yourself, so you're not trying to rely on willpower. You're doing things because that is who you are as a person. Because what most people miss is the fact that you can follow all these steps perfectly, but if you still identify as someone who struggles with their weight, the moment something gets hard, you're just going to revert back to your old comfortable self. And that's going to put you back on the drug.
Ozempic.
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 So a drug gives you the window to your new identity, but you have to walk through it. And look, a GLP-1 can suppress your appetite and give you breathing room to change, but it cannot change you as a person. That is your job. And the people who treat it as a window to build a new lifestyle and a new identity and a new set of habits are going to come away leaner, stronger, more muscular, and metabolically healthier than before. And those that don't are just going to be using the drug for the rest of their lives. Or they're going to be right back where they are, or even worse, they're just going to have to deal with Ozempic face. So if you do take a GLP-1, build the systems and give yourself a fighting chance. And if you want a free guide that we use to help our clients get lean, healthy, and metabolically healthy with or even without the drug, then comment healthy below and I'll send it to you. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.